What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the School in the Game podcast. It's your boy School. Got my people here, Beans, Biz, and DaniLeigh, aka Courtney, aka DaniLeigh. What's going on with that? How y'all doing? Clap,
This guy.
What's going on?
What's up, y'all?
How everybody doing?
Same old.
Yeah.
Hungry.
Hungry?
Always.
I'm hungry right now too. So right after this podcast, I'm gonna get some food.
What you gonna get?
I don't know.
Something
Here we
vegan.
go.
Why you even ask that?
Here we
They
go.
eat the same thing all the time.
Mushrooms.
Why should he come for you like that?
Crazy. I'm out here trying to eat healthy and live a good life, and she always coming for me. That's crazy.
You about to get the carrot hot dogs?
And the bacon.
The glizzy
All right.
sticks.
Here y'all go.
Not
Some
the-
mushroom chicken nuggets.
All right.
Not the glizzy sticks.
Go ahead. Get your shit off. Go ahead.
You said
Got
mushroom
20
nuggets.
times. It got 20 times more disrespectful because he said glizzy.
Black bean potato wedges. That's the same thing.
Oh, nah. You bet not, never.
Wait, can't you just have regular potato wedges? Isn't that
Right.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, he can.
Nah. All right.
what you talking about?
I don't even know if
He
that's
was talking
a thing,
about the
bro.
black bean steak. The black bean steak. That's what he meant. They have like Salisbury steak, but they use black beans.
Oh, it's black beans.
What you was gonna say, like black bean burgers?
Which actually aren't that bad.
Yeah, black bean burgers are fire.
That's nasty.
It's crazy.
That's nasty.
All right.
Respect to you for your lifestyle, though. We respect your lifestyle.
Yeah,
It's
for
not
sure. For
it's
sure.
not
I'm
a
healthy too,
vegan.
though.
It's not a vegan slander episode, man.
He said I'm healthy too, though.
I am. Because he said I'm trying to eat healthy. Like you can't be not vegan and eat healthy. You can.
You eat healthy?
Who, me? You saw that salad. Don't play with me.
Salad. That had all that stuff in it?
I mean, it had cheese and spinach. Like, what you want from me? I ain't giving up everything.
I
It's not that
understand.
It
bad.
had guacamole.
I understand, you gotta eat.
Nah, guacamole is fire.
Anyway, man. I'm hungry, man. We can't be talking about all this.
Yo, speaking of food, before we get into it, I know we had this conversation with us last year, but what's on your Thanksgiving plate, Court?
Well, I'm not cooking this year, but typically I usually make like a Cornish hen or a turkey, depending on how many people I'm cooking for. Yams, baked mac and cheese. What? Whoa! Why you shaking your head? What is happening?
We don't
Yeah,
have
I
time.
didn't
We
even
don't have
finish the
time,
menu.
bro.
Yo, school,
Nah.
check the
All
clock.
right, I'm gonna just
School.
move along.
He don't.
I'm
Nah,
not.
everybody- Everybody know
You
yams
don't
are
like mac
trash.
and
You can
cheese?
keep going. Nah, yams is just gotta
Oh,
go. But
yams.
you could go ahead.
Oh,
Proceed.
okay. I mean, that's fair. That's fine. I usually, if I don't do yams,
See?
I make the best sweet potato pies you ever put in your face. I promise you that. And I
they're
usually
related.
I don't care. No, I put that on my plate too. If I don't do the yams, I don't care what you're talking about.
Wait, you put the pie on the plate with your
I
regular
always-
dinner meal? The pie is on that
and
plate?
I do, and I eat some after with ice cream, and I do.
Just
And
asking.
who gonna check me? Who gonna check me?
All right, y'all. I'm out, y'all.
I'm just
I'm
asking.
head out.
crazy.
And I make this is gonna sound weird, but I make Brussels sprouts, but my Brussels sprouts are busting. So I don't do like cabbage or anything, but I do.
I fuck with Brussels sprouts.
Nah, her Brussels sprouts fire. Like I
I
have.
never thought I would hear Brussels sprouts and busting in the same sentence, though.
Nah, them shits be busting.
busting.
Them shits be busting.
My Brussels sprouts are out of this world. I don't even know. I just
I've been trying to make them. I've been trying to make them exactly how she make them. I don't know what she do.
Got the
you
sauce.
should just I can give you the recipe, but you don't got the sauce. You ain't got never had a sauce.
Yeah, it's different. You can have some juice, but the sauce.
The sauce, you feel me?
The sauce.
You know, but yeah, why? You don't put yams on your plate, obviously.
Yeah, nowhere near it.
Yo.
That's a whole other story. There's no need to. We gotta get into that.
You got
Well,
cranberry sauce
okay,
on your
let
plate?
me.
That's a good
You
question.
put cranberry sauce on your plate?
I'm asking if you do.
Who, me? No,
Yeah.
what I look like?
No, we just checking.
What I look like?
What about, all
Feels good.
right, how y'all feel about stuffing?
Nah,
Don't
I'm
put
out
it
of
on
here.
my plate.
Nah,
I like stuffing.
Right.
I mess with
That's-
stuff.
Stuffing is wet bread, bro.
Why do you want bread that's been wet and then
That shit-
dried and then
Yo, thank you, yo. That shit is nasty as fuck. Like, oh my
Nah.
the
god.
bread was made,
Stuffing is
it was
fire,
baked,
but
and
it's
it
made
was
right.
broken down.
And then they put some
you take
bullshit
dry
in it, and then they
bread,
put
wet
it back in the oven.
back in the oven, and it's mush.
Stuffing is
It's
fire
wet
when it's made right.
mush. It's like throw up.
You're doing the most.
That shit nasty, bro.
And
I'm
you know
sorry.
what's crazy? I like bread pudding. Bread pudding is essentially the same thing, but I like bread pudding, but I'm not messing with stuffing. It's just the texture is weird.
Yo,
It's
keep
I'm
the
the
bread away
opposite.
from my pudding, bro. Keep the bread away from my pudding. We need to do that.
Agreed.
That's doing too much.
I don't think bread pudding.
Y'all clearly never had salted caramel bread pudding because it'll change your life.
No.
I'm good. Keep my
Well,
salt, keep
that's
my
important.
caramel, keep my bread, and pudding separate, bro. Niggas love experimenting shit.
It is a love experiment.
But yeah,
It's the wrong holiday to be experimenting too. I don't want that shit.
true indeed.
Raisins
You
in
can't do no experiment on Thanksgiving.
You get beat. the fuck
Not at
up.
all. I ain't coming. If your mom making anything like real strange, I ain't coming.
Strange.
Like,
Wait, so
if you
so
tell
you
me y'all
usually
eat
do
fried chicken on Thanksgiving, I'm not coming.
you usually
be
do like the
nasty.
meal like for your family or whatever? You're like the cook?
Yeah.
When at what
Yeah.
point, at what age did that get turned over to you? Like you became that person?
Too young. Like forever. Like I would even when I wasn't doing like the whole meal. Yeah, because even when I wasn't doing like the whole meal, I was in there. I had to help. I ain't eat chitlins. I had to help clean them. I do mess with potato salad, but I had to peel. I had to be there. That's just like you're in a black
Chitlins.
household. In a black household, like as a girl, your what do they call it? Your path, your righteous, whatever they say. Like yeah,
Rite of passage?
like that's your rite of passage. Yes, that's like you have to be in there helping. Like it. So yeah, but as soon as I
Understand.
like started living on my own, and I came home thinking mom gonna cook, she like, so I need help doing this, and before I know it, she out doing whatever, and I done cooked the whole meal, and it's just like I remember the first time she did it to me. They were clowning me, y'all. They were like, "You made Brussels sprouts instead of cabbage." Talking about the method I used to make my mac and cheese, everything, clowning me. I'm like, all right, cool. Don't eat then. Don't eat then. Everybody sat down. Everybody chewing. Everybody quiet, looking at me. I'm like, yeah, what's up? Like, what's up? Say something. It was like, okay, we're gonna have Brussels sprouts every year now.
Are you threatening people at Thanksgiving? That's like anti with the meaning of the holiday.
That's nasty.
What's nasty? Brussels sprouts?
Chitlins.
Oh, I don't eat chitlins,
Oh,
and I don't mess with
yeah,
them.
I don't
Yeah,
eat them.
nah, they stink. They
Never
stink,
tried 'em.
Like
You said you was helping cleaning them, don't know, right?
I had to. You gonna tell grandma no?
Yeah. Come on, face, bro.
Nah, not my grandma. Not Lil. You
I ain't
ain't about to
touching them
tell
shit.
Lil now.
Silly.
Tell Miss Thompson no if you want to. Catch your pen to the back of the head.
I mean, I
You
risk
rather
that. Like,
take the pen?
I'd rather take the pen, bro. I'm sorry.
You are a boy.
I ain't
Y'all
touching
wasn't
them.
supposed to be in there. That's
damn
cool.
right.
Like
I would have knocked that pen over on purpose.
I ain't have to eat them, so I'll help clean them. But after a certain age, I was like, I'm not touching that because I don't eat that.
I'm not hungry no more.
We don't want to ask Will what's on his plate, right? Because we already know it's
All right.
lettuce.
Anyway, let's get to these topics. You know, we got a few topics. We ain't had that much time today.
Facts.
So you know, some of the hottest news right now is Kanye and Drake. You know,
Boo!
how y'all feel about
Boo!
Word.
That shit corny as hell, yo.
that? Yeah, I don't like that they pieced it up.
Nah, man.
I don't like that they pieced it up. I didn't like the beef, but I don't like that they did that because I feel like, are we getting an album out of this?
No.
Is there like make the music and shut up at this point? And I'm not feeling Kanye at all right now. Like after he said what he said about Big Sean, I'm done with him. Finished.
Was it more of what he said about Big Sean though? I took it as I took it as a business decision versus a personal relationship.
No, he was sending it out as a personal point of view because he was mad that him and John Legend didn't endorse him running for president. Right. He made it into a business thing, but let's talk about it. Like good music, Big Sean was your top grossing artist. John Legend gave you 6 projects and he bounced in 2016. You feel me? And who was left? You had Tiana Taylor and you had Big Sean. And he got the other people, but they ain't doing nothing. We ain't even talk about them.
And he ruined Tiana.
You ruined Tiana. You took creative control away from a superstar. That girl is more than talented. We've seen her overcome so much stuff. She's always had the talent, has always been there. All you had to do was help develop her, but you tried to dim her light. And then you had Big Sean, whose light you couldn't dim, and then you gonna go and say something like that. Big Sean in the 2000s was one of the biggest. That song he talked about how he told Sean that shouldn't have been his first single. Look at what that single did though. That it created a whole movement, and you gonna come out your mouth as a businessman and say you regret signing him. You a fool and you disrespectful. And Sean and them have been loyal to you because they didn't endorse you running for president, my nigga. Like, is you wild?
I only said that shit so I can hear her talk her shit. That's all.
Carry on. Why you like trying to get a rise out of me?
Guess who's gonna be the soundbite for this episode?
I already said that shit for her to talk her shit.
Real, because like, what are we doing here?
For me,
everything you said was spot on. I took it exactly how you took it. I was on good for shit to get goose.
I agree. I don't like it more so from Drake's perspective because I just like she's saying I don't like Kanye in this moment, and I don't think you could trust Kanye in any capacity because once you let him in, that's the whole reason the whole baby thing got leaked. You let Kanye get too close. You gave him information you shouldn't have gave him, and now he leaked it, and now it's in the music, and you took an L to push because you let Kanye get too close. So. If I'm Drake, I'm never trusting Kanye like that again. Like we just gonna be enemies for the rest of our lives. But I do want to see like black people reconcile, but I don't know. That one just feels different to me. I don't want to see that.
Even in the pictures, like the pictures don't look genuine. Like it looks
staged. It looks fake.
Yeah, it looked like somebody saying, "All right, we got to do this from a business standpoint." Like that's what it looked like. It looked.
Well, that was Jay Prince doing.
Yeah. And what's crazy is like somebody need to hire me on PR because for real, if we was talking about a business standpoint, I would have been like, all right, y'all want to squash this? Let's get in the studio. Let's create something that's undeniable from the fans. Let's not say nothing. We don't need to have a conversation. Let's make the music. Then let's put it out. Then we'll reconcile. This feels like a last ditch effort for both of y'all to just get the attention off that right now. I agree with Otis about from like Drake. What are you doing? You ain't have to do this. See, CLB did well. You feel me? Like you didn't have to do this. You should have kept it at a music standpoint. I feel like it took like hip hop took like 2 points back because hip hop is one of those genres that the beef makes it interesting. The beef makes it like even if it's light beef, even if it's not like full coming at your neck type stuff, the beef makes it like more competitive, and hip hop needs competition, period. I don't care what nobody, hip hop needs that, whether it be female, male, we need competition to keep it interesting. That's where these great conversations come from, all of that. But yeah, it was corny. They look like two dads trying to make fetch happen. I don't like it.
Yeah, but you said they should have went in the studio and did something. Like, if I'm Drake, I don't really want to do music with Kanye. Kanye is washed at this point. Like, we're not making anything that's timeless. I don't think they can.
But Kanye could have produced something for him. He could have produced something for Drake. I mean, in that standpoint, I don't want them rapping on the same song. That's dead for sure. I agree. But I feel like Kanye could have produced Drake's whole new project, and I would have rocked with it.
I like Donda over CLB. I liked it a lot better.
Goodness.
I only found maybe 4 tracks that I really kind of like those CLB. And every time I kind of listen to Donda, I find another track that I'm interested in that I like. I'm popular.
The more I listen to Donda, the more I'm like, but I feel you. Go off.
That's just me, personally. I just get that okay. I mean, because I had a couple episodes ago. Yeah, I was talking about which one y'all like better or whatnot, and I think I missed that one, but I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, you weren't there for that one.
Everybody got different taste. But I don't know. Donda was not an easy listen for me.
I mean, but that goes over my point. Like when you talked about it before on a couple pods, like I like all Kanye shit because it tells me exactly where his mind space is, and like it tells me like what kind of trajectory he's going on and what he's falling off or whatnot. So I like all that, everything that he encompasses all together in the project. I like that shit. It tells a story to me about where he is in his headspace. And I can use those albums kind of, you can take an album here and take an album here and be like, all right, this is exactly where he was in his mind. And then you see the antics play out and you're like, oh, that makes sense. And then you, like his previous shit, like he was very into his deep shit, and those stand out. Those are classics. And then you got, which is my all-time favorite, Beautiful Dark Fantasy, like that shit encompassed everything he was going into and dealing with in that perfect moment, and that storm came together. That's one of like the greatest albums I've ever heard in my life. So like,
yeah, but I think the difference between those two albums is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy felt really natural. I feel like it felt right. Like this album, a lot of his later stuff, it feels forced. Like he got an agenda and he's trying to make points and things like that. So I don't know. It feels really different to me. But from the perspective of trying to get inside of his head and seeing where he's at this point in life, yeah, his music does still do that. And if that's what you're listening for, then I get what you're saying. But I would like to get into his head, but also it to come together in a way that's like I want to hear.
Oh, he's not there no more though. He not letting you in that close no more.
Yeah, it wasn't his best work. At the end of the day,
I say it was his best work. I just like Donda over
CLB. Fair. Because CLB wasn't Drake's best either. Like it wasn't Drake's best, but as a whole, like.
Which is crazy. Like I found myself struggling to listen to get through CLB.
How many times you listen to it?
Oh, I forced myself to listen to it quite a bit.
Yeah, I ain't hear that. I'm like, I ain't hear that.
I missed it.
I said, really? Because you light skinned.
Nigga, you like it too.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't love it the first time through. I didn't love it, but the more I played it, I liked certain songs more. It's definitely songs that I saved the second and third time through. I think Donda, I might have saved like 2 songs altogether in the whole thing.
I feel like when I first listened to Donda, that shit took fucking 3 days to listen to because it was fucking 30.
Oh, so true.
But I felt myself finding a new song or 2 every time I kept listening to it.
I listened to Donda 3 times before the sun came up that night, and I still didn't. It still wasn't hitting all the way for me.
I don't know. I like Donda.
Insomnia. Can we?
Yo, that's an astronaut helmet behind you, yo. I've been dying to ask that this whole time.
That?
To get it out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my Darth Vader piece.
Let me borrow that, yo.
It's a hair dryer. It's a hair dryer for your hair to sit up on your head.
That shit was an astronaut.
Why would she have an astronaut helmet?
I've been dying to ask this whole
Why
question.
wouldn't I?
I feel like she would have an astronaut helmet.
I would have. I would totally. If y'all could find me one,
I'm going
Christmas
right now.
Yeah, like yo, send that.
I know eBay got it.
Somebody got one somewhere For real. All right, so moving along from Donda, Kanye and Drake, because I'm tired of them. I'm so tired.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was corny. I'm tight. When you put it in the chat, talked about, I booed it right out the fucking chat. I want to see them fight. I want to see them square up, get it over with.
Yeah.
Nah, they too old to be fighting. They got
30,
kids.
30-second scuffle, get out the way, move on.
You gotta let Lil Saint and Drake's son square up at this point.
Lil
We gotta
Saint?
square up in the ball.
Oh, that's funny.
Do it for Lil
Lil
Saint.
Saint.
Not Lil Saint.
Yeah, it's other industry feuds we could jump into.
Oh,
Like,
I don't know if y'all want to. I didn't know if school wanted to say, or if you want me to just jump
Nah,
in.
bro, you was already there,
There's a
man.
lot.
No, but
There's a lot of them.
I felt you trying to get to the next thing, so I would just throw that in there. But now
Yeah,
we had a whole incident with the baby and all the stuff that he's going through with I don't follow it enough to know all that. Is that his girlfriend? Was it his girlfriend, or just his baby mother?
Well, according to the baby, she was a side hoe. That's verbatim what he said. That's what he said.
I think I saw that.
But they've been
also,
dating for 3 years.
Yeah, I also saw like pictures of them like where it looked like they were like a couple. So I
they
haven't
got a
been
kid
following it,
together
so I
too,
don't know.
right?
yeah, they just had a kid.
Yeah. Cause ain't nobody know who the baby daddy was, and now we know it's the baby.
So
I
was gonna say, for
ahead.
those of you who follow the music and the industry like that, what was your interpretation of what their relationship was? Were they together, or what was it?
For a split second, they seemed to be together, and then she announced the pregnancy. He kind of disappeared and did his own thing, and then all that stuff with him saying what he said during his concert came out, and she was just kind of MIA until recently. I, for one, like, I feel kind of awkward because I'm a firm believer in stuff like that should not be played out on the internet. First of all, like, your relationship. No, I don't care if you're famous or not. Like, don't play your relational stuff like that out on the internet, because you know what? People go through stuff, and you don't want to look crazy, but then you also don't want eyes on your relationship in that way. Like, I'm old school. We're gonna do that in private. We're gonna go through. I'm gonna cry it out, and nobody ain't never gonna know what I'm going through. But I will say this: as a woman, she was slow. She was stupid. She played herself. Hear me out. Whoa, hear me out. Somebody gonna be in your comments like, get this girl off of here. She played herself and stuff only because of the warnings that she had already seen, gotten, that she understood and she overlooked. But as a woman, we do it all the time. We will overlook a man's red flags and keep it pushing. Keep that train on the track like ain't nothing going on. We do it. We're all guilty of it. No woman is above liking a man so much, loving a man so much that you ignore his red flags. We've all done it. However, as a woman, to take your child's mother, put her on public display like that and embarrass her that way, 3 months after having a kid, postpartum, she's dealing with so much. That is something I, for one, cannot respect. Like, as a man, you should feel so solid in yourself that you wouldn't even, you might not want to F with her or whatever, but you should never want to go that route. And I was disappointed in him doing that, because I know, like, he's always been put on display as a great father. And above nothing else, if you're a great father, you do not put the child, you don't put the mother of your child through stuff like that. Like, for what? What did you gain?
Thanks.
And that's it.
That's out there forever now. So when that kid grow up too, they're gonna eventually see that, and like, you know what I mean? Like,
a YouTube clip now.
It's just real corny. Like, it was really, really corny, really disrespectful. I can't get with it.
Yeah, I don't follow it enough, but from everything I've been seeing and hearing, it's same sentiment to school. Like, it's corny. Like, I'm always a big believer in keeping stuff in house. Like, don't nobody need to know your business except the ones that need to know the business. I've always lived on that, and that's the way it should be.
I think it's a different generation of, I guess, men in particular that don't necessarily hold to some of the standards that we hold to as far as how you treat women, how you treat, especially the mother of your kid. So I don't know. And it seems weird to say it's a different generation because he's how, like early 20s, mid 20s, something like that.
Yeah. I think he mid to late 20s. He like 26, something like that.
Is that
Yeah.
So I mean, us at 30 or 30 plus and him being that close, it still feels like it's a huge like generational gap, even though like we're so close in age.
He's 29?
Yeah.
Wow.
Really? So
wow.
And that's even more
disappointing. I definitely thought he was younger than that.
Yeah, the way he carries himself like a younger person, not like super young, but like mid-20s, maybe. Like I would have never thought he was that old. In general, the way that he carries himself.
About to be 30 in December.
Jeez, so he pretty much.
I feel like it's crazy because we as regular people, so to speak, even that's why I said I don't know like how I feel about it, and I don't really like speaking on celebrity stuff because the type of eye that they're under and the type of light that they see themselves in and stuff, they really be thinking like, oh, we just regular people, but you're not regular people. Your whole entire life is under a microscope, and everything you do, everything you say is going to be picked apart by people who do not care about you. And I feel like we view him, because I thought he was younger.
Yeah, me too.
I really thought he was younger. And that's because we view the behavior that he does that other niggas do on a regular. Let's be honest. We see it and we're like, whoa, why would the baby do that? Why he knocking niggas out in Walmart? Why he doing this? Why he doing, we see, we see that. And I just like, I hate talking about that because they really feel like they're regular people and they forget that everything is under a microscope. They forget that, in 10 years, your child won't be able to see this. And like, it was just the ultimate disrespect. And like, they don't grow up the same. Like, even, I know he just kind of came into stardom, but that could change you real quick. And it's not always a bad thing that it changes you, but it can force you into a lifestyle that you possibly didn't prepare for. And I feel like mentally, there are a lot of people with money who weren't mentally prepared to have it. You know what I'm saying? Like mentally, like you didn't go through the step, like you just stepped into the stardom and stuff like that. And now you're, like I said, under a microscope in the limelight, and you don't realize that you can't deal with stuff the same as other people. Because even like the fact that she called a charge because of it, because he called and I'm not against him calling the law, because it's better than him putting his hands on her if stuff would have escalated. Like if you need to call the law on her to kind of, de-escalate and like, get her where she need to go or whatever, I'm cool with that, honestly. And I felt like there were women there in the videos who were able to call the law and get that situated. But even that to me was wild, because like, you really called, like, did she put her hands on you? Like, what did she do for you to put her out and for you to call the law on her after 3 months after having your kid? Like, that's deep.
I don't know the situation, but it's a lot of dynamics that go into a domestic situation like that, because 9 out of 10 times, if he's not the one that's calling the cops, if they get called or something happens, he's going to be the one that's getting arrested or going to get in trouble for whatever reason, because it's assumed that it's usually the man that's the instigator,
aggressor
type of situation. So I don't know, maybe he was doing it to protect himself. I understand, like, I wouldn't want my baby's mother to have a charge over her head either, but it's like it's a double-edged sword. It's kind of a tough situation to be in.
Yeah, especially as a Black man.
That, and now the baby, the actual baby is the actual baby is now put in the body, because now mom got a charge and dad is over here doing this, and it's like there's no respect or even thinking about the baby. It's just all about them at that point. And like, think about the child at that point, and that's.
I hope ultimately he dropped the charges. I hope they take time apart. He dropped the charges and that they could work out a co-parenting thing and get it right, because at the end of the day, it's a child in the balance. And I'm no parent, but one thing I know about co-parenting, watching my parents do it, is that if you want to do anything surrounding that child, let it be within peace. Because if it's not, your trauma as adults rub right off on them, and they grow up with trauma that they did not intend to pick up, that they didn't even know they had, and then they got to sort through their stuff. So many, and our parents, you know, parents in general aren't perfect. Nobody's perfect. You're going to make mistakes, but you see so many cases where you have grown adults who have trauma that came from what their parents did, and they didn't even realize that what they watched their parents do and how they were, and how my baby daddy ain't ish and my baby mama ain't ish, how much that child soaked up going through that process. And so I pray for their sake that they get it right, and that they could let bygones be bygones. Like, everybody ain't meant to be together. And now, even if there was a chance to work that relationship out, like, it's vetted by the media. So I'm a firm believer in you go through that stuff behind closed doors and you let it go. But I feel like the society we live in, like, it's almost like they feel like if they don't have proof, like him putting that out there was like, see, like, proving to the world, like, I got proof, she crazy, she this, she that. And it's like, you don't even realize that in trying to make her look crazy, you look wild.
Thanks.
You look wild. We looking at you like, bruh, like, for what? What is the reason? And then you showing the child, like, he went and showed the actual child, the baby. He went and showed her, and that's just like, I don't know. To me, that's high level disrespect. Like, you really don't like that woman to do all of that. And that speaks volumes about your character as a man, low key. It's not all his fault. That's not what I'm saying. But how you, and I think I'm working on it too, because I'm an adult, and like, sometimes you got to catch yourself, even as an adult, that like, sometimes your reaction to what people do to you is much worse than what they've done to you. You have to learn how to manage your own reaction to what people say and do to you, so that your character is never up for question. And now we question his character because of how he decided to go about it. You feel me? So yeah, that's that on that.
And he just got, I don't know, just got let back into society is the right term, but
Canceled.
Huh?
He just got from under the microscope.
Yeah, he was just like, he was canceled for a little bit, and he came. You know, they let him back out, and then this like literally comes right after he. You know what I'm saying?
They let him back out.
They had my guy.
They unleashed the baby. They let him out the crib.
They had my guy locked up. They had him shut down from festival after festival. He was missing money. He was doing shows, wasn't working. No. And
that's facts.
They gave him the green light again, and he can. And like literally, I want to say like maybe 2 weeks ago, he just green light to start doing things, and festivals started booking him again, and then this comes out. Like,
yeah, word. And it's like, I think what makes it look worse is that like you disrespected, you know, a marginalized group of individuals for being what their sexuality was, and now you're disrespecting a woman who is also considered in America a marginalized person. And though I don't think he's a bad guy and stuff like that, his circumstances don't look good. And like, I just hope, like I said, I hope that they get it together and get it, because I feel like he does have a bright career ahead of him, but there's only so many mistakes that you can make in the music industry before people start to blackball you, before people start to be like, I don't even want to work with you, all of that. And that could break your career faster than what you're doing on the internet. Like, if people don't want to work with you because of your actions outside, that now we talking about affecting the bag, and you got kids to feed. So what are we really doing here? Is it worth it? You know, at the end of the day, do you feel like good about doing that? Nah, like, let that ish go. If she is crazy, you know what? It's gonna come out eventually. Period.
True.
I also think that with these days, you know, it's the labels. They're not doing the same artist development and stuff like that. So a lot of these artists, they come in, they get this this newfound fame, and they, like you said earlier, they don't know how to handle it. They don't know what to do, because look at all the other, the stars that the artists that already had that development. That when, I'm gonna use Beyonce. Beyonce don't talk about. We don't know nothing she goes through because she don't do an interview. She don't. You just don't catch her. You know what I
Put it in
mean?
the music.
Yeah, unless you're making money off it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like you don't say nothing. You do whatever you got. They could have kept that, and within themselves. And she could have just went and made a fire album like Summer just did. You know what I mean? So.
Or,
Like,
and she still can. I don't. Yeah, I like. Part of me feels for her in a way, but then the other part is like, man, you pick who you lay down with. Like, I hate for it to sound misogynistic because I don't have internalized misogyny as a woman, but at the same time, and I don't know how old she is, but like I said,
26.
Yeah. So we all make, as women, we all make decisions. I mean, look at Summer's whole album. It's all about the not bad decisions that she necessarily made, but the things she let go on a whim of thinking that she loves somebody. Like, we all, men and women, both make those mistakes. It's sad, but like, just my thing is like, do not publicize something that you really don't want out there for forever, because once it's on the internet, you're done for. Like, it's there and it's sticking, and like, you can bet your bottom dollar Shade Room in 20 years gonna be like, hey, y'all remember that time? They do it now.
Right. It'd be a month. It'd be a month on past. They like, remember this, y'all?
You feel me? So I just, like, I feel for her. I feel for her as a woman, like, going through that or whatever. And then I think that he really has to get, people on his team that, really say, hey, like I know you mad. I feel you, bruh. Like, I know this look crazy right now, but this is how we're going to handle it. I need you to grow as a man. I need you to grow as an artist so we can make this money. Because at the end of the day, ain't none of this Shade Room stuff, none of posting it on the internet. None of this is bringing you a bag. It's depleting your value, if anything. So yeah.
I know I don't know, we keep harping on it, but like, I know sports are moving towards having those like mental health professionals and people in place to really help these young athletes that are coming up and coming into money. Is there something that's being created or being discussed about something for the musicians and artists coming up at a young age?
Heck no. It should be.
It definitely should. I've worked with people who like they do like writing camps and stuff like that, but they'll also have a part like where you can talk to somebody like if you need to or whatever the case is. So but it definitely should be more of that for artists. Because all these artists, they come from different backgrounds, different situations, and they're not in jail. Most of the rappers, like, you know what I mean? Like all types of stuff in there. Then it's like they get signed, they get this lump sum of money all at once sometimes. And it's like, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they get a terrible deal, and that's even more messing with your mental. Right. So, you know what I mean? They do need to implement something like that for artists.
Yeah, I think it's this drive of like, you going and for the Black community, our community specifically, is like, they make money off talking about like, if you ain't struggle, you don't know nothing. When in fact, why do Black people have to struggle to, like, we shouldn't have to struggle to make something of ourselves, but they make money off of that. And it's like, because of that, it's almost like having a sob story, a sad story, having to push weight, having to be this, be that. And I don't shame nobody for nothing. Like, if you had to strip to get where you at, shake a little something, baby. Like, do what it do. Like, no shaming whatsoever. But it's just like school said, like, you know, they don't push that enough, and it's like you're just put it in the music. Yeah, but what about my mental? What about what's up here when I walk out that booth and I've created another banger, another hit for this record label, and I go home and I'm in shambles? What about that? You know what I'm saying? There's definitely, but that's across the entertainment industry altogether, right?
Yeah.
Musicians, actors and actresses. We watch people kill themselves and take their own lives every year because their mental wasn't right. They have people literally will say money doesn't buy happiness, and you know, of course we know all of that or whatever. Money can create a little happiness. You can, if you don't want it, slide it in my Cash App. But like, it's really not anything, and I don't think anybody who is not mentally prepared for millions is never gonna, not that it's never gonna end well, but people with, like, we could take Will and Jada for example, right?
Danny hates talking about that.
Listen, now I'm gonna just use Will. So
hurts my soul.
All that Will has endured or whatever, and I just added his book to my thing. I plan on starting to read it tomorrow. All that he's endured, right? He made a conscious decision, right, along his journey. Jada did too. They made a decision along their journey that this money don't really mean nothing if we're not happy with ourselves individually. Like, forget the marriage, forget all of that. But like, they made that decision along their journey that we can have all these riches or whatever, but if we're not taking care of ourselves mentally, it don't mean nothing. Jay-Z and Beyonce, the same thing, openly talk about how they went and got therapy. Jay-Z talks about it all the time. Like, I had to go get help. Like, I didn't even realize I needed the help until I was in there getting the help. Like, my family was deteriorating and I was watching it. I needed help. It's so many people who think they could handle that type of lifestyle, and their record labels, their NBA team owners, their NFL team owners, let them deteriorate as long as they bring in that bag. And to me, that's probably the saddest thing, to have all that money and want to off your own top, right? Just because you're not happy. Kate Spade, I don't know if y'all know who that is, bag maker. Yeah, she, all that money, all that legacy, forget the money, right? Because she created a legacy, but was so unhappy with herself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, nobody is developing these people.
It's just not. It's just
yeah, like, we watch it every day, B.
But I do want to put a pin in something you said way back about, because I think we definitely need to have an episode where we talk about our, even if it's not personal, but we talk about trauma, like you were talking about, and how it affects us as we are today, because every single one of us has dealt with that in one form or fashion, and it made us the people that we are today. So I think at some point, whenever we're all in a good enough place to talk about it, that's something we really should have an episode on, just the trauma and how it affects us as we move forward in life. We might have touched on it here and there, but like, dedicate some real time to talk, because there's a lot of people that otherwise might not ever talk about that type of stuff.
No, definitely.
I'm always here for talking about mental health. Like, I'm an advocate. I deal with stuff every day, and like, I would love to see that, because I don't know if y'all know, but Black men don't really be talking about their trauma. Black men don't really talk about what they go through. Black men are notorious for internalizing it and then recreating it in the baby fashion or something. And again, I'm not bashing him because it's life, but like, you'll see it in that type of light, and everybody will bash them and say, oh yeah, Black men, that's just how they are. And I hate that. So I would love for y'all to talk about y'all trauma and how it has helped y'all see things better versus holding on to it and making it a badge of honor. Like, it's not a badge of honor to walk around with your trauma. Like, I can't stress that enough. It's not a badge of honor. Like, you use that to grow. And that's that on that. because it'll be a whole episode.
Nah, yeah, we'll definitely do an episode on that.
Yeah, and I think this is probably a better way to segue to that. I think we all deal with our trauma in different ways. And there's certain people, and we're gonna like talk a little bit about Young Dolph getting killed. There's certain people that go through certain things, and for those reasons, they're unwilling to kind of let go of the environment in which they came up in. So to a certain extent, we saw that with Nipsey a little bit. He ended up getting killed right there, and then we see Young Dolph as well getting killed in Memphis. And I didn't follow him that well, but I did read a lot that he was like, I'm not leaving here. Like, this is where I'm from. This is where I went through everything. I'm not leaving here. So, I mean, it's good to get back to the community because I saw he was doing that too. But at the same time, when you get out, or when you not get out, when you make it to a certain extent, there's always going to be people from your past or people that want what you got. So it's a fine line of giving back, but also not being there so present that you're a target at the same time.
I admittedly am not familiar with, like, I knew who he was, but I'm not familiar with his music or whatever. Regardless of that, though, it's a tragedy. I don't want to see another young Black man dying before their time because of the people in their own community, people outside of their community, and how America feels about Black men. I am sick to my stomach of seeing stuff like that happens. And I agree 125 million%. You do not have to be a product of your environment and continue to stay in that environment when you have done everything you were supposed to do to be, to eject yourself out of that environment. There is definitely a fine line between giving back, being a role model, being a true testament of what someone out of that neighborhood could become. But I do think that being that, and the little bit about him that I do know is that he was from a rough area and stuff like that. I think you have to know how to move, being that you can't get famous and move like you still regular. Like you just can't do that. You can't frequent places the same way. You just can't. And it's so unfortunate that it's people in his own neighborhood that did the same with Nipsey. Like Nipsey should have been a you don't touch that man type subject. But when people want what you have or are mad that you were the one that made it out,
they go to any length to get it.
And you feel me, any length. And it's just sad to see this again. And I think people in those neighborhoods, like that come from the hood, where we from, where they from, wherever in the country, right? I just want to say, like, y'all should really be ashamed of yourself that people make it out and they do everything to reach back in. And instead of looking for an opportunity, instead of looking for, a way to say, all right, they made it, I could do it. Y'all killed the person who was feeding mouths. Like, it's just, it makes me sad and sick to my stomach. Like, oh my God, Nipsey, I was a fan of Nipsey. And more so, not even the music, of course, bangers, but more so about the man he was and he was trying to be. You don't kill people like that and not affect people. So if Dolph was doing the things that he was doing for his neighborhood and y'all was jealous, or like, what reason? You didn't rob him, that you just killed this man. Take what you want. You feel me? Take what you want. You got to take a life.
It's crazy. Like, I ain't nowhere near on his level or any people that got money, but like, I don't even move or go in the same places or frequent the same places that I was doing when I was younger, growing up. Like, it ain't worth it. Like, I told oldest in school all the time, like, my number one goal is to get home, like, and be home safe with my wife and my daughter. Like, it's not worth it, yo.
But you hear how even tragic like, that sounds?
Yeah.
That's your goal.
That's my goal.
At the end of the day. Like, your goal as a Black man is just make it home.
And to make it home. Like, and it's sad and it's like, it's tragic thinking about it, but like, that puts me at peace, getting home, locking that door. Once I once I get in the crib. And I'm not even on the level that they are with the money and the fame and all of that.
It's crazy though. Even if not being on his level, that people always hate. People always, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And it's sad that it's like that for us. Like, it don't matter what level we are in our life, you always might have somebody watching you, like, jealous, and you know what I mean. So it's like it feels good to make it home. You know what I mean? Like, I get it.
I can't even remember the last time I was like really in the city like that. Ever since I moved out here, I don't remember the last time I've been around like that.
I don't even drive through certain parts anymore. Like, younger, you like, yeah, whatever, like, it is what it is. But now it's like, nah, gotta stay away from that area. Certain times of night, certain times of day, gotta move different. It's just, okay, you don't ever come home the same way. You just gotta switch it up and shit. Like, it's crazy. It's always something. It's always something.
Used to, like, whenever I would travel and stuff, I used to post something on my story like, "Oh, I don't even do that shit no more."
Nah,
like,
shut it down.
When I come home, like, always feel like people know I'm home. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just
shut it
down. Don't know. So it's better to just keep yourself safe than anything else.
And I think we also move like that because of the times. Like, we're in such an odd generation, us, right? Like, being 30, 31 years old. We're in that generation where we know what it's like to have so much respect for our elders, know what it's like to look after one another, know what it's like to move as a unit. You don't leave your brother, your sister behind. We know how, and then we're in between this generation that's like every man for itself, like, type movement, like, and yeah, and it's just like the fact that, and I'm a young woman who stays on her own, and Danny just said something so pivotal. Like, I never take the same way home. I go different ways, different paths, because you never know who's watching you, and I'm not on that level. So imagine being a Nipsey Hussle or a Young Dolph. You got bread, you got this, you got that, and you think you could just roll through the streets, because you from there, and you can't, and it be your own people. Like, it be your own people. Like, what happened to I am my brother's keeper, I am my sister's keeper, things like that in this digital era just don't exist. And it's sad, bro. Like, it's so sad that you can't go on vacation and post until you get back, or until you move from that hotel to the next. Like, we really got to think about these things. You feel me? You know how wild that is? Like, I just went to Cali. Nobody really knows, and not because I feel like I can't, but you just never know how people are going to take, like, you just never know. And it's sad that we live like that. Like, we so scared to have human experiences.
Yeah.
That man was buying cookies.
That's crazy. And you touched on the generational piece of it. Maybe I'm just like, I don't know, it sounds crazy. I feel like an old timer, but I feel like we kind of moved differently back when we were coming up. Even like the people that was out there doing whatever they was doing, they still had, it was a level of respect still. Like, I feel like these young boys is trying to make a name for themselves at any cost at this point. Like,
any cost.
So, like, if I go back to New Haven, like, I'm not afraid to go, like, to any hood because I know people there. But my fear is that I could go on this block and I'll be like, oh, I know someone, so I'm good here. But it's gonna be that one young boy that don't know anything about me. He's gonna try to rob me, try to take whatever. It's like, they don't know that I came up in this city. Like, they don't know who I am. So they're gonna try to make a name for themselves and do whatever they got to do. For them, it's like, but everybody else that's our age, like, respect Danny, they respect school, they respect me. Like, we know these people, but it's a new generation that don't know nobody, and they just try to make a name for themselves.
And they don't want to know nobody either. They just
right.
They just don't go.
Big fact. And I think too, like you're so right. And not only do they try to make a name for themselves, but I could remember, like, the street dude, like, growing up. We ain't gotta talk about where I'm from because y'all gonna hate anyways. But, like, I remember the street dudes having, like, this type of code, like, the kids gonna make it home safe. Like, what y'all doing out here? get in the house. I'm gonna tell your mother. Looking out for one another meant that we doing what we doing out here because we trying to get somewhere, but we don't want y'all to be a product of this. We don't want y'all to experience this. Y'all need to get y'all little asses home. Like now it's like, you want to be recruited? Like it's on some movie type stuff. And it's just, it's, I always hate to talk like this because like they said, I feel old. Like I feel like an old timer. Like I'm on the porch throwing lemonade at kids and stuff. But for real, like it is a complete 360 of how we grew up versus now, and the generational gap seems light years apart, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. We came up with the values that our parents and stuff still had, and we knew better. These kids nowadays, I do respect a lot of the new generation because I feel like they're going to be the generation that sparks change, and I love it. I love it for all the right reasons. But then on the other side, it's like you can't get so far in wanting change that you forget that there's a level of understanding, respect you have to have for your peers, your elders, period. Like, period.
Yeah.
They're out here wilding in these streets.
Different day and age.
Real different. I feel old, bro. I ain't never thought to disrespect no teacher. Like, they out here slapping a teacher. They out here slapping the teachers for a TikTok trend, y'all.
The most we did was roast our teachers.
Right. That was the most. You're fucking.
You liable to get a whooping in school in front of you. Ain't even about to face that embarrassment, and then your mama gonna come in and whoop you in front of everybody. Like,
no, that shit's wild. Like,
shit,
it don't even get that far. Like, unnecessary noise to me, that shit pisses me off. Like,
like why the TV so loud?
Yeah, like TV be loud, unnecessary car exhaust, the different, like all that shit. Motorcycles.
I was on the phone the other day. In the car driving by a loud exhaust. I'm like,
that shit pissed you off, right? You was tight. I bet, I be tight, I be cussing them out.
Imagine hearing that horn, that na 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 na.
I be tight.
I've heard that out here before.
I would be mad.
The daughter be running through the house yelling. Like, what are you yelling for? Why you yelling?
I work from home, and the people who do who do the yard work and stuff on our grounds.
Yeah.
I swear to God, like we don't need leaf blowers every day. I was so mad today. And this is how I know I'm getting old because I was at the blinds like
what are y'all doing?
Bro, turn that shit off, yo. Turn that shit off.
Bro.
Should be getting, I think it's part of getting old. Like little shit be irking me. I get mad at little shit, yo. I be getting mad at little shit. That should be, I'm getting tight right now. I gotta chill.
Getting all worked up and stuff. Your blood pressure gonna go. You gotta chill. Blood pressure. You gotta worry about that nowadays.
Little shit, like little tiny little shit that like nobody else would pick up on. But what the fuck? What y'all niggas doing this shit?
Word.
Shit is weird.
Yeah. I think that's a good place to end. We could talk about those cases next time. Probably by next time we record, we'll get a verdict, so we'll have more to talk about anyway. So you can hold off on those.
I'll go for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a good episode, man. Appreciate you coming to join us, Courtney. I know.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, got me looking a mess. If any of y'all viewers talk about me, your mom's a hoe.
Damn.
I'm just, I love y'all mamas. I'm just joking.
You can't love them, April.
Because if they talk about my mama, we throw hands. So,
right. Touche.
Yeah. But thanks for having me, guys.
Talk with her on that part.
What?
You gonna fight
about my mama?
Nah,
about mama.
I say you throw hands.
Nah, I don't fight. Nah, I don't do none of that.
Don't box them up.
We ain't got time for the stories she got in school. We out of time.
I don't even know who is this man. Who is this man? He don't even eat meat. Y'all can't trust what
That's
he's saying.
crazy. All right, so
Shit came full circle. That's wild.
Look, started the episode talking shit, and then the episode.
That's crazy. Let that man go.
Oh, I ain't even do that. That's crazy.
I mean, just chose a lifestyle that he's good with. Just attacking that man. That's crazy.
Y'all giving up chicken wings? Yeah, I ain't giving up no chicken wings.
Fuck no, you crazy ass. I'm about to go eat some chicken right now. Mm-hmm.
Word.
This is a good episode.
I appreciate y'all. I love y'all.
We appreciate y'all as usual. Love y'all. Gonna catch everybody next week. School in the Game podcast. We out.
Catch y'all.